So I'll be heading to New Zealand in early November. I feel like I've been building up to this for many years, building up the travelling stamina with trips to Australia and Argentina and the like. But this is by quite a way the longest trip. I got my calculator out the other day. It's more than 11,200 miles between Manchester and Auckland, where I'll be staying. So it's pretty much the other side of the planet. Yeah, down there you're not too far away from places like Fiji and Tonga. I think it's fair to say that New Zealand hasn't developed at the same pace as Australia. It's a remote country on the outskirts of the world, if you like. It became a colony of the empire in the 19th century. Flash forward some 60 odd years. To the beginning of the 20th century it becomes a dominion, so self-government within the frame of empire. Didn't become an independent land until the Parliament of New Zealand adopted the 1931 Statute of Westminster, but they didn't do this until after the Second World War in 1947, didn't put it into effect. But here's an interesting little point. The 1907 proclamation of Dominion status, that was never actually revoked. However, the 1986 Constitution Act means our Parliament, the British Parliament, doesn't have the ability to pass laws for New Zealand with the consent of their Parliament. Yeah. So it's independent. All interesting stuff, at least to me. But politics aside, really looking forward to the trip. Only about 4.6 million people live in New Zealand, and 1.5 million of them are in Auckland, which isn't the capital city, that's Wellington, but Auckland's the most populous, which is at the northern end of the North Island. More than half of New Zealand's overseas-born population live in Auckland, which includes a lot of folks coming from the UK, but the city also has a large and growing Asian population, many Chinese and Indian residents, also many Pacific Islanders, people coming from places like Fiji, Samoa and Tonga. So the city has a growing population. Maybe over the next 10 to 15 years about 2/3 of that growth is going to come from immigration. I'm going to be doing my thing in terms of shooting footage and documenting the experience when I go over there, putting it up on this channel, so please check that out if you're so inclined. I am interested, have been since I was a kid, in Maori Polynesian culture, although I'm pretty ignorant, I have to admit. The vast majority of the worldwide Maori population you will find in New Zealand, maybe about 15% of the national population. And they've had a turbulent recent history, have the Maori. They could have gone the way of many other ethnic groups, namely wiped out during European colonisation. But since the 1960s there's been a big cultural swing or restoration in Maori traditions. Yeah, still big social and economic problems though. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle on here, that'll do. I will see you next video, ladies and gents. Peace.